Good afternoon. Right, I've come to my parents' house today. I was going to do a bit of shooting, but it's a little bit windy out there, so instead, for a change, I thought we'd have a quick look at my dad's latest project. Now, I think it's called a Showman's trailer, and it's basically what they used to live in, what the people travelling around with circuses in the good old days that used to live in. They used to drag it around the countryside and camp up somewhere. Just started to rain. That's not going to help. So yeah, we're going to have a look at that. One of the first things we'll look at is he wanted to do it inside because of the British weather. So he's had to convert one of his sheds because it's quite a tall thing. He's had to convert one of his sheds and cut out the front and make the door bigger. So we'll have a quick look at that first, and then we'll go and see how far he's got with it. See you in a bit. Right, I'll have to keep this bit short and sweet because it's just starting to rain. This is the shed that he's had to alter. It started off, it was a barn. Dad's here, by the way. It started off as a barn. We used to keep straw in that in it, didn't we?
Yeah, bales of straw for the ducks.
Yeah, yeah. And then you've had to change the doorway on it, haven't you, to get this new project inside?
Yeah, I've had to lift the roof.
Yeah.
I've had to lift the roof about 1.6.
Yeah.
And alter all the beams inside, and then I've had to make two big pairs of doors.
Yeah.
Enough room to get the trailer in and out while I'm working on it.
Yeah, because it's going to, like now, it's going to start raining, and
yeah.
So it looks now like something that King Kong's under the side of.
The two holes at the top are where the doors open back so they don't contact the guttering.
Say that again.
The two holes at the top,
yeah,
are recesses for when you open the doors, they don't catch the corner of the guttering.
Oh right, was that an afterthought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well no, it's, I had to do it. It's the only way I could do it, you know.
Right, I'm with you.
And put the,
Yeah. So when the doors open, they don't smash the gutter.
I can open one and show you if you want.
Yeah, go on, we'll have a look.
It's best to do it with the other one. You can see the other one back.
Right, I see. We'll look on the other side. That's the trailer. I'll put a few pictures up of the. Because obviously he bought. Is it an old army trailer?
Yeah.
It's an old army trailer that
he bought from a farm sale.
He bought from a farm sale, and it's he stripped it down and took it back to bare metal and painted all that first. I'll try and get a few photographs off my brother and put them in the video if you can see what it was like before. So this is the door that he's on about.
When if you go over there, you can see as it opens back, it's going to catch the corner of the
right,
guttering.
I've got you. And that sort of
stops it happening.
Stops it from smashing into there. Got you.
Smashing it.
So that's that. A little bit Wallace and Gromit. And this is the trailer. So let's go and have a look inside. Yeah, well, you tell us a bit about it then, see what...
Well, it all started when we first came here in 1978. It was a wooden bungalow, and in the middle of the bungalow was a Midlands Railway carriage and a Midlands Railway livestock van. And people had lived in that in 1918, right through till about 1950. After that, somebody built a wooden bungalow around them.
Right.
So when we got here, there was a wooden bungalow that was a bit dilapidated with a railway carriage and a livestock van in the middle. So I decided to build around the whole lot and take everything out. But while I was taking it out, I realised that the livestock wagon had nice curved oak beams in it, more substantial than normal railway beams. And I thought, well, I'll save them and I'll make a feature of that in the future. On top were boards that ran the full length of the livestock wagon, and they had a reed and bead joint in the boards. So I thought I'll reenact the roof and replace it just as it was before.
Because
so
you was going to use it in the house somewhere.
I was going to use it in the house, but I never did. I put some beams out of a church in the house instead. So anyway, I kept thinking what I could use them for, and then I thought I could make a Showman's van and use them for the roof for it. So I went to various farm sales, and eventually I located this army trailer at an at a farm sale. So I went and picked the army trailer up and towed it around with a little Kubota tractor. It was 16 foot long and 8 foot wide, heavy duty, you know, with massive army jacks on it and everything, you know. So I spent about 3.5 to 4 months stripping it all down. I had to turn it upside down with a forklift and paint it all, rub all the rust off, take the wheels off, make sure the wheels are free. I cut all the air brakes off and just left the handbrake on it, and then I painted it all with paint. I can't think of the name of it now. What is it? Amorite paint. Yeah, I painted it all with Amorite paint in dark green and restored it all. We turned it back over. I did all the top the same way, so the whole trailer was restored. And I'd taken the boards off the trailer and replaced them with proper floor sheets that they use on trailers today that are about 3/4 thick, and I've got a waterproof finish on them. So that was the start of it, and I thought, right, what am I going to do now? Well, I've got a couple of barns that I could build it in, but the only trouble was I wouldn't be able to get them in and out the doorway. So I'd got a tin barn, and I thought, well, I could alter that. I could raise the roof in the tin barn. So I went inside and I had a look at it. So I altered the trusses in the middle and took the roof up at the front about 2 or 3 feet. And then I made
close here.
Quite
tight in there.
It would be tight to do it, but I could get it in because the curve of the roof meant that the trailer would be lower on the outer edge. But I wanted to put a Mollycroft roof over the old top, which are windows that show that you get on Showman's vans.
I'll try and put a picture in of that because it's difficult to describe. But I mean, I'll put a picture of one that's already done because you're not 100% how you're going to finish it.
No. It's a bit conjecture, but I've got a good idea how I want it at the moment. I'm having 2 windows down one side. The door's going to be on the opposite end to the hitch end, and then there'll be a small window looks out over the hitch. And then down the other side, I'm having it completely boarded. So I've got one more where I could put bunk beds and things like that in.
Right.
So anyway, what I had to do first of all is the oak beams which I'd saved over the years. I got them out of the barn. They were covered in paint, so I had to clean them all up. 2 of the oak beams had a metal curved strap that were bolted to them for strength. So I thought,
they're on there now.
These are them here.
Yeah.
And they bolted into an oak timber before, but I've altered it, and what I've done is I've made an angle bracket that fits to the top of this sole plate that runs a full length. The sole plate overlaps both ends about 1 foot because the roof will have an awning at both ends.
But the beams and that really give sort of set it off and give it the character.
They're nice and chunky. They're about 3x3 and they're rounded underneath.
Yeah.
I've had to reduce the size. I've had to cut fresh birds' mouths along here and reduce it to fit the trailer. Right. I've had to take about 2 inches off each side.
Right.
You've got to do it equal, else the curve won't work out.
Right.
So then I've fitted them all. They're screwed in here with double screws through the oak, and I've put fat on the joints, on the screws, so they don't seize up, because you can get a bit of a reaction with iron on oak, and I don't want any staining from it.
Because these are the ones that are they're doing horse or something. How do they bend them?
No, they steam them.
They
used to steam them. Yeah, they used to steam them.
Where have I got horse?
Well, no, they did do that as well with chairs. Used to stack them and bend timbers for Windsor chairs.
Forget that.
But no, they used to steam and bend them like that, you know.
Right.
So anyway, what I did is I worked it out, and I thought they're quite slightly closer centres than they were in the original livestock wagon. All that was left of the livestock wagon was the roof, the outer frame, and the hinges where the door had dropped down onto the railway platform.
Right.
So that's all that was left of it, really. But I thought it'd be nice to save it all and reuse it all anyway, you know. So
what bit of it are you actually doing now then?
I've just made these gable ends to match. I've copied the arc of the circle of the beams, and I've just made these up out of 2 pieces of ply with a timber infill. So it's the same width as the wall.
Right.
And all I've got to do now is put some coach screws in there to hold that.
Right.
And at the very moment, I'm just fixing these windows here. You know, I'm putting the timbers in for the windows because the windows are going to have to go in first. When the windows are in, I've got to board the outside. But before that, I've got to put a metal sill all the way around the outside at the bottom.
Right.
And that sill will just overlap the edge, and it'll drip down. It'll be the same as used on cladding buildings, metal cladding. Right. It'll be in dark green, and you can get it made to the dimensions you want. So you just have a sill with a slight upstand, and that's why I've put this double blocking down the bottom here.
Right.
To pick the sill up, and also to pick the skirting up when I want to skirt it afterwards.
Got you.
These timbers, the set, in case I want to use panel sheets. You can get some sheets that have a reed and bead board effect on, and I might use them, but alternatively I might use traditional boarding, and I haven't made my mind up. So I'm covered for both eventualities. I can either fix the boarding or the sheeting. In between here, this is designed so that I can put 2-inch sheets of Kingspan insulation in between here.
Right.
And obviously at the same time I've got to wire it, to do all the wiring, you know. Yeah, on the roof it will have boards running the full length, 6 inches wide.
Yeah.
There'll be 7/8 finish. They'll need to be substantial. They'll have a reed and bead joint in them, and as I say, they'll be 6 inches wide. So I'll try and do them in one length, so the full length runs down. They'll all be fixed, and my idea is they'll have probably a sea wash over the boards, and I'll leave the beams oak, so the oak beams will stand out.
Right.
That's my idea with it. The windows, there's 2 windows here. I may have some leaded lights in the windows. There'll be a small window at the front that pokes out, that's got 2 side angles on it and a front face. They won't be very big. It'll just be a nice nooky little window on there.
Nooky?
Yeah. Well, you know, nice and cosy looking, not too big.
Okay.
I don't want it to look out of proportion.
Right.
And the doorway here, I'm hoping I might get a reclaimed door from somewhere, you know, that I could alter, you know, something that looks a bit ancient, you know. So that's my general idea. Inside, as I say, I spoke about the ceiling. The other thing is on top of the roof, when those boards are on, I'm going to run 2x2 timbers, the full length of the roof, at about 1 foot centres. And it'll have 2-inch Kingspan in there, and then I'll use pearl board, 1/2-inch pearl board, to sheet the whole roof, because that will curve.
Right.
You can follow the curve with that.
Right.
And when I've done that, I'm going to paint it all, then fiberglass it, and there'll only be a small overhang on the outside. It's conjecture. I might have a guttering on it. You could have a small aluminium U-channel guttering, like they do on trains, with a spout that just opens out and curves away from the body at either end. But I haven't made my mind up yet. The wall plate on top carries on outside the face of the wall about 2 inches.
Right.
This is to enable me to fix the boarding on the outside, because it's having.
I tell you what. What I think what we'll do, because we can only have so long in a video.
Yeah.
And you have gone on.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it a little bit further on.
Yeah.
And see how the outside's taken on, and wanted to get the sort of basic idea of how far you got and the inside structure before everything's covered up, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But we've got like a brief idea of where you're going next with it. How long is it going to take?
I don't know. I really don't know, because I've got my ducks to look after. I've spent a lot of time with my ducks.
Oh, don't start
and my garden.
Don't start.
You know, so
Jesus
I might have to break off here.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. We'll be back to have a look at the rest of this, and just cover a little bit closer. So thanks for that, and I'm going now.
Yeah. See ya.
Cheers.